about the game, I am gonna affect some stuff in post. So everyone but Dante gets 1 experience point because there was a thing that Dante got an experience point for that the whole team should have gotten the experience for. So Dante's just one up from everyone, and that is currently where I'm at. I'm about halfway through the last episode, and that will be the last episode in which this can possibly happen again. And that is because at the end of the game, or at the end of each time we play, Gabe has pointed out that um let me think. Gabe has pointed out that those 3 questions are for the team, not for individuals. So um the time in which Dante got one, it was used for Dante, and it could have been used for the whole team rather than that. So everyone gets 1 experience point, and if you level
Cool.
up, now is the time to level up.
Teamwork.
Nope. I'm not even close.
I'm closer.
All right,
What?
I like
What?
closer.
What? It's 10, right?
It's 8 for level 2.
8? Okay, cool. I am
7
exactly
plus your level.
halfway there.
I'm
Okay,
at
halfway
6. I'm pretty close.
I need to roll lower.
there. All right, cool.
Level 2, bitches.
Oh yeah, Gabe is level 2. Do you want to tell us about your level 2, Gabe?
Are you gonna fucking kick our asses now?
Oh, no.
No stat increases with levels unless you
No, yes, stat increases every single level. 1 stat increase.
one single stat increase every level.
Damn.
And I think I picked
That's huge.
strength. I bumped my strength up by 1.
Oh, you really are gonna kick our ass.
Because it seems like I do that a lot. I use my strength and my wisdom, and so I'm gonna juice that. And then I took one advanced move, and that was Test Kitchen, which lets me basically anytime I think of like a neat thing that an ingredient can do, I can roll Test Kitchen and ask my wonderful GM some restrictions on that, as far as like what sorts of things can uh, or like what sorts of requirements do I have to find this ingredient or make this dish. But I can literally come up with whatever I want as far as like what the ingredient does. I can be like, I want an ingredient that supplies electrical power. And I would roll Test Kitchen, and depending on how good I rolled, that would be the number of ingredients or number of restrictions the GM can put on my power generating mushroom,
The
whatever.
restrictions are pretty intense, but that's only because his leeway with his like creative freedom is so 100% here.
It generates electricity, but you have to put it in your butt the whole time.
The whole time and every time.
You know, actually, that would fit. There's a
In your
stipulation here. You are
in your
going to
butt?
need to put it in your butt first.
That is one of the stipulations. Okay.
Yeah, I
Cool.
have 6. There are 6 things that I could satisfy, but the moment that I satisfy all of them, I get that ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that I put
So
it in my butt, I
it
get
gives
that
me a lot to
ingredient.
keep track of, but it seemed like the sort of the lodestone for any cook build.
Yeah.
So that was the first advanced move that I have taken. And as an example of that, I actually want to roll that power generating ingredient.
What?
Like I'd like to use my Test Kitchen move. That's like the first thing I'm going to want to do.
To make a power generator in food?
Because of another thing I heard while you were re-listening to old episodes, was that there's like a huge chunk of this space station that doesn't have power and is basically there's been some sort of problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know
So you
just
want
how to
to
fix it.
cook
But
a
first, put
solution
this in
to
your
the
butt.
engineering problem.
All
I
right.
like
So
I'd like a fungus solution. I have no intention of sharing it with.
There's got to be a conductive fungus.
Yeah, I have no intention of sharing it with the engineering crew
Butt
because
fungus.
my chuchlings will handle that whenever I have chuchlings.
The production of this ingredient, your chuchlings will handle, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they'll be my farmers or whatever.
Sure, sure,
There's 40% of this huge space station for me to take over.
sure. Um, okay. Roll test kitchen.
Yeah, that is
That's
a
first.
wisdom roll.
With test kitchen.
Do you want
While
to?
we're doing this test kitchen, we're gonna put this as Gabe's time on the station before we head out to another thing. If there's
Mhm.
anything anyone wants to explore, any NPCs you like want to develop situations with, start thinking about that because we're gonna go through everyone. Will get an opportunity if you'd like one to explore the station a bit more before we head out. So what's your role? Sorry, Gabe, for test kitchen.
Um, when you want an ingredient that conveys incredible effects, state what you want it to do. Generate power.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
roll cook or forage.
Yep.
On a 9, the GM chooses 3 of the following, and
I'm gonna pull
you
that. I'm
will
gonna
need
pull that
help
up right now.
next. It's going to take days, hours, or weeks of research. The ingredient will be dangerous in some way. I'm going to need blank first. I won't be able to repeat the steps to make the ingredient the second time. I will only be able to make a single serving of the resultant dish. Once the conditions are met, I will get a d6 portions of this ingredient.
Great.
May as well just make
Um,
it 2 restrictions, and you
And
have to put it in your butt.
you get three um 3 of those that I will have to satisfy before um I can have my power mushroom, my
what did you
Mario shroom, as it were.
what did you
I rolled
roll?
9.
I rolled a 9.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me think. Let me think. Cookie spends quite a bit of time in the food and O2 production area. The three of you actually notice. I'll say that you've been back for about a week. That you really even haven't seen Cookie at all. I would say that Cookie left to do this pretty quickly after you guys returned. Cookie just had an idea and went off to do it. And since then, Cookie's just been gone. And Cookie, where you have been, is the food and O2 production. You've been camping out in the woods. You've been getting to know every nook and cranny of this place to really learn what this this place has to offer to give you this effect. Let me read these up and down, and then what did you roll? Did you roll forage or cook? Because it's cook
Since
or
it's an ingredient, I'm rolling forage, I
you're
think.
looking for an ingredient. Okay.
They're both wisdom rolls, but I think in this instance, forage makes best sense.
Okay. 3 of these things. The 3 things are you Cookie spends, like I said, that week going around, just learning the plants and the flora, the fauna of this whole area. The purposes of as many as she can come across. There's a few that stick out to her. One is called a pinwheel, which is a little flowers that grow on windy hills that spin in the wind, and you get an idea to that's just that's ingredient number 1. You find some other, we're gonna call them buzz shrooms because 'cause you're looking for a fungus. Um, they give sort of a massive adrenaline boost to the people that eat them. Um, they're a little bit harder to find in general, buzz shrooms are. But you feel like you're getting somewhere. You have a few of these ingredients picked out for things that you might need. But in order to complete this process, you feel like you're going to need an expert on flora. That's plants.
Mhm.
An expert on the on the flora that you can find on this station. The You are going to need, that you're not just going to find this ingredient here. You're going to need to work with this expert in order to crossbreed several plants together in order to grow something that might be able to do something like this, produce power on its own. And I think with that answer, it's going to take hours, days, and weeks of research, longer than this singular week of research, in order to discover this. But I think that this week is spent learning those three triggers for what you're going to need to do in order to
I
get this
need an
done.
expert. I
Hello.
need weeks
Hi,
of
you're almost there.
search. What was the last thing I needed?
To work with
Remind.
it's you are going to need to blank first. It's to work with the expert. Hello. You're going to need to work with the expert to crossbreed several of these plants together in order to get this ingredient.
I can take that, but that sort of feels like the merging of the two other things you've already said.
That is
Expert and weeks of research. I'm happy to
you're
do
going
it
to
for
I mean
two
you're going to
things.
need to grow
Oh,
you're going to need to grow it yourself first. Is
okay.
the bit. You need to find someone that can help you. You're going to need to do the work with them, and then you're going to need to actually grow this ingredient yourself.
Not just find it.
Yeah. You're not. Yeah, exactly. You have a good inkling that you're not just gonna like walk out and find this chilling on a planet, or certainly not on this space station.
Would a buzz shroom be a standard or a gourmet ingredient?
I don't think that you collect any of these ingredients for your actual thing. You'll need to actually do a forage roll for those. I guess you
Hmm,
did do a forage roll and you got a 9. So what is a 9 for your forage?
that's a great question. Um,
I'm willing to let those two things go together. When you're doing your test
on
kitchen,
a
you can read
79, choose
anything.
one gourmet ingredient or three staple ingredients.
Okay, yeah. So either one buzz shroom, gourmet ingredient, or 3 pinwheels.
Three
Co-
pinwheels.
Pinwheels, the common ingredient that you found on the windy hill.
I'm gonna go with the three. I feel like I'm low on standard ingredients.
I like that. I like that. Think about where you want to look for your expert. Carl, talk to me about.
Oh, I already know. You've introduced her already.
Okay, we'll okay. Then we'll roll back to that in just a second. Uh,
You can roll forward to me because I'm fulfilling my wingman duties in my week. Don't worry.
Carl,
Oh,
what
don't
is
worry. I'll come to you, Slippy. Um, so let's do a little world building here. Carl is searching for information. Now, my millennial ass thinks, oh, well, space internet, but I don't imagine such a thing exists, because then you got to deal with, like, are space influencers a thing? Like, do we all have space TikTok? Like, that's a lot to deal with in a campaign
Yes,
setting.
probably. I mean, it's a lot to deal with, but also I don't. Okay,
How's my
I
Or
think
algorithm?
do
Is
we
it
have,
good?
like,
Do you
a
want me to
data
roll for my
archive
algorithm?
or something?
it's important to develop, definitely. I don't think it's as far along as like everyone has cell phones in their pockets that are like that are like that. Like there's not like an intergalactic TikTok that you guys are
Darn.
rolling, enjoying as you're flying through space. There is definitely a connection. Like, this station can send orders back to the home ship to have ingredients, storage, supplies, whatever, whatnot brought here, people brought here. In situations like that, I have updated some of the ship shop stuff and the like weapons shop, which is the other page of spreadsheets in that, to kind of reflect some of the things that we've talked about. Some of which Carl has introduced, like modular power, and Gabe had introduced two-way communication with the station. I think you guys have communication with your ship, but to be able to communicate with the station, there's a little upgrade there. Things like that. Um, but yeah, there's not like an internet. There's not like I don't know. There's probably like some form of
There's
uh
radio, but no internet.
right. There's probably some form of like 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 Reddit style web pages where there's like it's all like walls of text, and like random people that have access to the internet can
Now, what
come in
about
and drop
celebrities? So
shit.
tell me
But
about the celebrities in space.
so I think that is, yeah. I mean, there's definitely celebrities if we're talking about like back on the galactic orbiter, because you guys have huge cities, sprawling New York style city states that are you know thriving. But you know, out here I don't know about celebrities. We've introduced a lot of the celebrities. Anyway, that would be the form of internet I think that we sit with. Carl.
So I guess it's more like what do we have access to like data archives on board the ship?
I think
I would
you could
assume.
get access to some form of data archive, yeah.
Hmm.
Depending on like what your rank is depending on what you'll have access to, right? Like you can't just
Yeah.
go up and type in government secrets and
Yeah. Well,
and get them.
again, like in my millennial brain, I was like, all right, Carl needs to learn how to get into the dark web, but that doesn't exist here either, and there's not going to be anything on the government data archives on like how
Phase
to
4?
fight the government. So Carl's really struggling with furthering his knowledge.
I think that if you're looking for NPCs that would be good, there's a couple we've introduced. I think the bridge is a great place because you're the closest to the like font of information. If something is coming out going in, it generally is going to go through Captain Marjorie or Captain Rake, her second in command. We've also introduced the AI. Hey, Lotus, thank you for that resub. I'm gonna wait for this to. Hell yeah, Lotus. Thank you so much for that resub. Um, we've also introduced the AI that was helping Dante with helping BBW with his machines, and that is Core. Core is the security station for the ship, basically. I don't know if either of those NPCs are ones you want to watch, tail, get to know, get in with, but we do know them. Or we can also introduce a new one if you're like looking for.
I
I don't know.
think
Where do we go looking?
Carl is gonna go to Slippy for advice, actually.
I like
He was gonna do it in the dark web
that.
anyway. He was gonna be like, do you know like how to do you know how to get Tor browser? I have no idea.
You want me to tear open what?
The government.
The government?
Just a little bit.
And Slippy puts an arm around your hulking frame compared to me, I assume. And Slippy goes, "No, but that doesn't mean I'm not into it." And then Slippy removes his arm.
Do you have any tips?
I mean, I probably like, I assume there had to have been a government before this, right? So maybe you could go to the library and check out the history books. Because as they say, history is doomed to repeat itself. And that probably means that I'm gonna get back with Carissa here in a couple weeks.
I've never heard that before. That's a new one to me.
That's a saying that people say all the time about how Slippy is gonna get back with Carissa again.
Oh, I'll have to start saying that then. That's pretty
Tale as
cool.
old
Yeah,
as history.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for catching me up on the lingo.
Yeah, I hope that helped.
I'm gonna go
Carissa.
spend a week at the archives, honestly, because I don't know if I brought it up, but like the planet that he's from is very new to the system kind of thing, so he probably doesn't know almost anything about the history generally.
No, I really like that. I like that. So if you're a culture that has just been basically developed into this bubble, I would say that a Delta station probably, while Kaarl was alive, even showed up outside of your planet and like began this whole process of integrating into the
Integrate or die.
integrating into the sphere of influence of the back Atmos star system. So I think that you're probably actually the most intimately aware of like what your team will be looking for, or closer to that, to and what you'll be doing when you make it to these planets. But you were there, so yeah, you have just been developed into this system. The archives is, if you imagine like towers and towers of like in Futurama when they do like deliveries of the bodies to like the cemeteries, they're just like towers of like rows and rows and
I
rows
know.
of I can't think of the right coffins in the
Yeah.
walls, and then you just like that, but it's like all data points and stuff. And there's like little hover platforms that'll carry you up to the data points along the wall for whatever you're looking for. Um, and you spend some time in there. I think that there's several NPCs that roll in and out of here. Core is one of them, consistently coming in and updating like many access points throughout the day. See, there is another NPC. Her name is
Tiddles.
now. Why? Why Tiddles?
Mhm.
Oh,
Because
someone's name
it's too late
one
now.
day. Someone's name one day will be Tiddles, but it isn't hers. Her name is
Or the ships.
Or the ships. Correct. Her name is Charlie, and she is a dolphin-like alien creature. And she is mostly in here taking care of data points along with Core. She seems to be like Core's assistant, but like stationed here. Let's see. Do me a spout lore. That feels like the most
About 4.
close thing to what we're looking for.
That's I think I have a -1 to.
Nice.
Yeah, Carl's dumb motherfucker.
That tracks. That tracks with what we're doing here.
Although that is an 11.
Okay. The GM will tell you something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. Relevant to your situation.
Trying to
It's always the
find the
hardest.
government secrets.
That's always the hardest one. Is relevant to your situation. Let me think. You spend the week going through all of these data points. Cheers to you, Buddha. You spend the week going through all these data points. And you're looking up the history of the back Atmos star system in general. And I think what you find is they're on a very forward path. It's hard to imagine the cyclical nature of this path as like, if you look at all of the cultures that it keeps pulling in, they have pretty cyclical histories. There's like a king that'll rise or a monarch of some kind that'll rise, and then they'll get to some sort of too much power and the civilization will revolt and it just sort of folds in on itself and someone comes out of it the leader, and it just sort of repeats itself over and over again. I think you find that in human history and in all of these different cultures throughout. But what is sort of unique is that this has come out of one culture and across several star systems at this point. That it is just an ever growing culture that doesn't seem to be folding in on itself. And thinking about it rolling back in the cyclical nature is like how to restart this down the line is difficult to imagine. So you get lost a little bit in that history, but you actually get some you find a data point about the history of this specific station that you're on while you're going through all this information. And it is a little bit deeper of a dive into what happened when the station exploded. Is that you find a small bit of an article that says that they brought a life form onto the station and that they were studying it in the science bay. The explosion that occurred was uh, they had they had chosen to test an incorrect chemical on this new life form, and it caused it to expand so critically and rapidly that it took out the science bay and most of the workers in there, and then just like
Spandesium.
basically filled the bottom of the station up, and they had to seal the doors off. They simply haven't opened them since. And yes, it seems that I think you're able to put two and two together. That a lot of the power draw on the station has been from like it seems that this whatever had happened down there has just been sucking that energy since.
Oh, we're
Nice,
just riding
nice.
around with a bomb.
Yes. So a little bit more immediately relevant than finding secrets about the whole star system.
Yeah, yeah.
Slippy. Slippy,
Hey,
where do you spend your week?
so really quick, I do. There's like, what are they? It's like I want some walkie talkies because I've got
Yeah.
some money. Yeah.
You do have money because you chose the money, and I added walkie talkies into the merchant.
Yeah.
Uh
Great. What's the price on those walkie talkies? I couldn't find them.
I think it's 50. It's sheet 2.
What
Let me
what did we
Team
get paid for
Com
that last com?
65.
for the last team comms exactly. You received 30 each. 30 credits each.
Ah, all right.
I've got
So
35.
I'm gonna buy walkie talkies.
Sweet.
That's the first thing I'm gonna do.
Lit. You buy walkie talkies for the team.
And then I'm gonna use my walkie talkie and I'm gonna go. Hey, this is Slippy. Come in, Cookie.
Cookie. Gabe.
Hey,
Gabe.
this is
Oh,
Slippy.
never
Come
mind.
in,
Your
Cookie.
screen was frozen.
How am I supposed to know you have all the walkie-talkie? You bought them.
Okay, I
You're
spend
just
the
talking to
day-
yourself.
He
I
could have
spend
bought
the
them in
day
the.
going and giving the walkie talkies to everybody, and then about 10 minutes after I hand you the walkie talkie, you hear, "Hey, this is Slippy. Come in, Cookie." Over.
Yeah. Yes, Slippy. What is it?
Hey, how's it going? Do you have got any stuff going on? Need any help with anything? I was thinking about going and visiting the botanist.
I mean, there's always things I can ask you to do. If you're visiting the botanist, I can certainly give you an errand.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. What do we got? What does the botanist need for you? Bottles? That's what they do, right?
Yes. Yes, that is yes. Botanists
Over.
love bottles.
Over.
They especially love bottles full of alcohol, I've been told. Um,
Well,
but
I just bought a bunch of walkie-talkies, so I'm kind of tapped out. Do you have any booze?
I bet there is booze to be found. That's not relevant.
Hey, you know what?
I
I can go steal some booze. I'm the stealth specialist. Don't worry.
Hey, Gabe.
I
Over.
that's not really the
Hey,
point.
Gabe.
Um, hmm?
What time does Daphne eat?
8:45.
8:45. And
Hmm.
what's your deal with making her food?
It's a scoop and a third of a can, and sometimes an egg.
Scoop in a
Chicken fat,
third
if
of
that's
her
still
can
hanging
and
around.
sometimes an egg. Yeah,
If she's been good, then sure, give her an egg.
if she's been good. Yeah.
Well, cool. Um,
She can. She always does
anyways,
this about this time. Okay, sorry.
um, my errand for you, though, has nothing to do with alcohol.
Oh,
I need
okay.
you to go and reintroduce me to the botanist. I've
As a
introduced
concept or
her in
physically?
passing, but
Over.
I'm very busy. Um,
As a concept. Got it.
I've been a very busy bee, if you'll my pun. Um,
Don't get it.
I
Don't get it.
That's cool. That's all right. The audience will. Um, uh, I need her help. And so if you could let her know that I will be talking soon, that would be most excellent.
Oh yeah, I could lay some table work for you. We'll set you up.
Also, what while I'm talking to you here,
Yep.
what can you tell
Over.
me about Carl? Over.
But what do you want to know? Kind of octopus person, you know,
I
has some good whispers with him.
I did know that they were an octopus person. Over. Any further details
Really
relevant to
interested in
me?
history.
Over.
About like politics and government, that type of thing. I don't know. I think they might be studying to become a politician or something like that, or like maybe the opposite of that. Maybe a reverse politician, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
I've actually got 15 intelligence, so actually I'm pretty smart.
then
Over.
be that way.
Over.
Over. We we should swap stats because I've only got a 12.
Over.
Over and out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see the botanist then.
I've
Goodbye.
only got 12 over and out. Oh my god. Okay, so Old Lady Weathers is a massive uh elderly cephalopod. If Carl is an octopus, she is a squid. Like she's huge and like long and slendered and play this through 11 months. Sheesh, let's go. Thank you for that resub toxic. I really appreciate that, my guy. Yes, if Carl is an octopus, she is a long, slender squid,
And
much
her name is
taller.
Old Lady Winters again. That's what you said.
Weathers.
Weathers. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, old lady Weathers. When you come across her, she is watering from like 6 of her tentacles. She's watering several plants with different watering pails.
Oh, hello, Old Lady Weathers. I've just been meaning to see you. Please allow me to help you with one of those.
And you feel a little tickle in your brain, and you hear a thank you, and one of her tentacles brings back one of the pails to you. uh,
I help her do some watering. And
how can I help you today, young one?
Well, actually, I had some plants that I was looking to learn about, but actually, they're with my friend Cookie. Um, so I just came by to sort of say hello and see how you were doing, and let you know that Cookie will be by later. Maybe in like a week or maybe after that. I think we have a
Cookie
mission.
is
Maybe I'm not sure.
Cookie is that. We're going with Wasp, Gabe. Wasp or Ant?
Yeah, either or. Um, I think in terms of like
My Aunt Wasp.
it
I guess
not.
people will call you different shit, but you're an Ant
Yeah,
Wasp.
I think we're gonna.
We'll go right
I
down the
think
middle. We'll call it Ant Wasp.
I
My
don't
Aunt
think
Wasp.
I have a
Yep.
stinger. I think is the main thing.
What'd
But
you
then I
say?
thought ants also have stingers very often.
Wasp
So
is really just a really big ant with a spiky ass.
Yeah, and they all
yeah,
have
but
wings.
like a lot of ants also have spiky ass
I didn't
thing.
know that. I just knew they bit. I didn't know they had back things.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Yeah,
and
interesting.
you have wings, but not all of your race has wings. So I would say that you're closer to an ant than a wasp.
think that
Uh,
makes ant not wasp no stinger.
yeah, the Aunt
Yes.
Wasp lady. That's my
Anyway.
coworker, the cook.
Oh yes, I've seen her out and about lately,
Oh yeah,
checking
very
out
hard
many of the
worker.
plants. Yes, yes, I
Very
have
busy
noticed
bee.
this
I've been told
myself.
that's funny.
Hmm. I don't get it myself, but
I didn't get
I
it
think
either.
I think that someone may. Is there a you said there's a plant you wanted to ask me about or that I've
I
seen your
I think
friend
it's a plant
the
that
cookie
they
ant wasp?
have. Cookie has the plant. I'm just here to let you know that they're coming on by, and
Oh.
I can't help but noticing that your carapace is
Ye
looking a little dry. I actually have developed this little poultice that might help you. Do you mind if I give you a little tester? Try it out.
Super rude to
give
talk to
you
a bug about their carapace.
Kind of
it's not a
sussy.
bug?
It's not a bug.
Uh, it's not a bug. Uh, what poultice did you develop?
It's, are you old lady Winters or are you God?
I'm God, but okay, I'll play it. We'll play. We'll play. She says, I have been feeling a little mm, dry lately. I'll take a rub, and she offers the same tentacle back to you.
Hell yeah. Okay, so I have this little
I'll
pouch that
take
I
a
like pull out
rub.
and I put 3 or 4 fingers in and we do a nice little rub on them
And
and
like an anime, there's like
now
there's like the background kind of blurs out, and there's like stars and shit. Like as
uh-huh
you're rubbing her tentacle with your
and
salve.
now the target treats me as a trusted ally until proven otherwise.
She was
That's
already
pretty cool.
she was she was already doing that.
Yeah, but now she has no choice.
Until
Okay.
proven otherwise.
She says, thank you."
You're welcome. Uh oh, actually no, sorry. I misspoke. It's the next creature that they see as a trusted ally.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's
That's
it's a
that's
it's technically a poison.
it's a ploy for the cookie play. I like this.
Yes,
I
it's a
like this.
poison. So it's a setup. It's a setup for Cookie.
I see. I
That
like
makes
this.
slightly
Okay.
more sense.
Way more
Yes,
sense than like
yes. No, for sure. No, for sure.
you
Haha,
doing
Uh,
this for no
you like
reason.
me
and
now,
then
person
and
who
then
likes
Cookie
me.
and then I sort of we have another short little chat and then I bid farewell and then as soon as I'm around the corner I go, hey Cookie, this is
Cookie,
Slippy. Come
go,
in.
go. You have to be the next person. Go.
I hope you got a minute because you gotta go see him now. I'll delay him as much as I can, and then I'm gonna hide nearby and try and prevent people from coming close to being the next person. And that's how I'm
All
gonna spend
right.
my week.
No,
Um,
we're
fun.
gonna play this out.
I
There is
think
a singular NPC that is gonna get there far before Cookie does. We're gonna say like right
no,
after
I
you
was
get
gonna
off the
say
phone.
that as a like an arbitrary character choice. 100% too busy to visit the.
No, I believe you.
Oh,
I
perfect.
cannot. I will not be. I don't think I'm even going to answer this radio call.
That's all right. I've got a
Perfect.
week.
Yeah.
I've got a free
Yeah,
week.
he's there to block people. We want to do one of
So
these.
I've got
though.
rations. I've got 5 portions of
want to
rations.
know
I can be here for
where-
5 days.
And as an audience member, I do want to know who the botanist does bond with. That sounds amusing to me, but it's not going to be Cookie.
Okay.
Well, it could be.
It could be if you come along.
I mean, I'm not gonna call you again immediately, but I'm probably gonna start calling you around day 2. I'll
We
radio you
will-
I'm
again.
very busy with my mushrooms.
Yeah, but I poisoned her. I poisoned the old lady. She's gonna love it.
Yeah, but what's better for mushrooms than botanists?
I'm
we'll
deep
get
in
there.
my research, finding out what I need to
We'll
make
get there.
power-generating mushrooms. Like, I cannot.
I understand. And
You
we'll
asked
get there.
him to do that. You don't have time for the thing that you asked him to go do.
That sounds like a
I
sleepy
did not.
quest. That does sound like
I
a sleepy
did
quest.
not ask him to poison the botanist.
You said
The
butter
bot-
her up.
She's 100% gonna be
He
like, why
quite
haven't I seen
literally
anybody in
buttered her
3
up for
days?
you.
What is going on?
If God says that I can go, then I'll go. But
Uh,
otherwise, I'm very busy researching this mushroom that I want.
BBW.
Yeah.
What are you doing
Oh.
this week?
I wanted to say earlier that I'd also want to visit the botanist, but I think I'd rather go see the chef.
Everyone
chef
visits
we
the
have.
botanist.
I want to
No,
go
you
see
can't
the
visit the
chef.
botanist today.
because
Not today.
Today,
BBW is very curious as to whether they can eat or not. Because they figure out to drink things. They want to figure out the origin of
Mr.
their,
Cookie.
Yeah,
the
so
keg.
there isn't like
go
a
my quest.
there isn't like a specific. That's gonna be fucking hilarious. He just gets it done without Cookie even there. Next time he asks, "Can you eat?" He's gonna say no or yes. Emphatically, I know. So there isn't like a chef for the ship. This thing is so
Isn't that
friggin'
Cookie?
that like yeah, for your ship definitely. But like for this station, there isn't like a even a cooking staff. There's not like a kitchen where people go for well, you have kitchens, but there isn't like a ship kitchen. Where a lot of the common folk of the ship go is to the big, it's like a 3-floor quote unquote open air market. It's not open air, but it goes up to like a glass ceiling, and it's just like, imagine like a mall food court basically, but like 3 stories. And so there's shops. This is the closest thing that your ship has to a just like an open market. For our mechanical terms, you guys can pretty much come here for anything you want. I want to begin developing out like cool niche shops, but for now we just have like the commons shop as we go. But as you enter here, BBW, do you have a sense of smell? What's your like smell sensors like?
I can't determine exactly what I smell, but it's more like it tells me I am smelling something. It's more
This
just like a
air is
sensor.
fragrant.
Okay, then
Indeed.
your scent sensors as you enter this market are going off. And I think you might have like different maybe indicators of like what's going on, and there's just so many different scents that whatever that sensor is in your system is just being overloaded. And
Mm.
for our conditions, there's just like an overwhelming amount of smells going on in this place. Lots of cooking foods, lots of drying things, stuff from other planets. Like it's just it's so diverse. Let's see, why don't you're after something to eat, why don't you give me a, let's see what I can make this into a roll. Defy danger. Why don't we give this a discern realities? No, we'll do a spout lore here as well. I'll make it story based.
And it's also 2d6, you said?
This is yeah. 2d6 plus intelligence.
That's a 4. 4 total.
Mark 1 experience. You spend a lot of this time in this open air. I'm just gonna call it open air market. It is in this open air market, going up and down the stalls, looking at all of these different foods and just like analyzing them. You don't ever get up, I think, the data points to want to try to eat any of this. You just look at it and you're like, is this food? Is this food? I don't think you stop and you like talk to the different merchants, but you think to
Yes.
yourself, like you go from stall to stall, like, is this food?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
this
It
food?
is.
Is this ABW's dumb?
It is food. Uh, and I think you learn a lot about a lot of different foods during this week, but I don't think that you get up. I don't think that you know. I don't think you get any more if BBW knows about eating than you did. You know about food now. You can point out that something is probably food over something that isn't probably food.
And
Um,
an edible detector. I love that.
based on this week, and I think that is a pretty cool point for BBW because he hasn't been able to do that yet.
Yeah. There's only one more person I can trust then. And that's Cookie.
And that's Cookie. Cookie can definitely say if it's food or not. Cookie, you you've received this call from your ally to have
She's not gonna get any slippier. She's all buttered up.
weathers buttered up. What you head over and talk to her? What do you do? I don't
Uh,
want to lead you in and talk to her if you don't.
I mean, I cannot say that she was my priority uh, as a player, but if this is the opportunity that's put in front of me and I have the, then yes, of course, then sure, I
The
will go and
the cool
pay her
setup
this.
of this poison could not be useful after the next mission. Like it's
It
just no
sure
way
could
she would
not.
run into. So I'm like I want to run with what we got. We have a fun story bit here that was set up based on fun mechanics that Slippy
If you'll
actually
give it
does
to
have.
me,
So
I will definitely take it. I was also here for the idea that Robot was going to take it. That was hysterical. But if you're going to give it to me, I will definitely take it.
I'm
So
gonna
yeah,
I want to if you wanted to head that way, we're definitely gonna put an NPC in Slippy's path to see how Slippy deals with someone coming. But I just wanted to, if that is where you're heading, then
I mean, my next priority was actually to go and deal with Carl, but
you can
I
go and
guess
deal with Carl. If
if
Cookie
this
would
has
go and
come
do
up,
that, if
if
Cookie
this
would
has
go and
come up in the midst of my research, I'll amble over there. Sure,
yeah, I mean,
seems to be time sensitive.
yeah, I mean, you
And
set it up. I think it makes sense that we roll this through. Slippy, you're waiting in the bushes, and a robot comes by. Think like C3PO style robot, tall, uh, sort of gold aluminum plating body, and it just comes ambling up and ambling towards the clearing that old lady Weathers is watering plants in. What do you do?
I I guess I come out of the bushes and I put my hand in front of him and I go, "Whoa, whoa, what's the hurry there, buddy? What's going on?"
I was wanting to speak to the mistress of the gardens. Can I help you?
Oh, actually, you see, the mistress of the gardens she's meditating right now. So if you could wait about a while, um, she just she's trying to commune with these plants and she can't be disturbed. That's why even I wasn't even out in the open. I didn't even want her to visually just be disturbed, you know.
I too have pressing matter. Roll parlay because you do have
How pressing
leverage.
of a matter is it? Let's find out.
He's holding a sap.
Whoa! Let me see. Is that charisma? Oh, baby, it is
Yes.
charisma. All right, so that is a 10 plus 1, 11.
He's holding this robot is holding a salve in one hand.
Holy shit! Thank
And it
you,
looks to the
Raven,
salve
for
and
the
it looks at you
raid.
and it says,
Welcome on in,
I
everybody.
can
We're
I can leave you my
know,
personal communication
doing
line if you wouldn't
D&D.
mind reaching out to me when she has a free
Oh
moment.
yeah,
I have a pressing
Glad
matter.
to have you in.
100%. If you here,
That was a stream.
put your number in my walkie-talkie here.
In my walkie-talkie, he clicks he clicks the
I don't know
top a
why
few
my
times. He's like,
notifications still aren't working. I
click,
thought I
click,
had
click,
them
click. This is all
fixed.
you have to do to reach me.
I'll ring you up. I'll ring you up as soon as she's finished. I promise.
Oh, thank you. And he wanders off back into the back towards the thing. And I think he passes Cookie along the way. You
Nice.
see
That's
Cookie
probably
coming
my
goes,
down
favorite
the path
Pokemon.
"Phew,"
I
and then
fucking
he
love
dives back
Torchic.
into the
I'm a
bush.
sucker for Torchic.
as
From Blaziken from Muskin.
this
Fuck
robot
yeah.
comes by. Gabe, are you there? Are you just off screen? Damn. Trying to do a whole ass setup.
Slippy
I always
comes out of
remember
the
the
bush and gives
Ash
the thumbs
quest
up.
you do there, where you have to
Uh,
run around in the grass and collect all the
So
volcanic ash from
as
the
this
leaves.
robot turns around to leave, it
collect-
passes Cookie, and the robot even turns to Cookie and says, "Oh, the mistress of the garden isn't accepting visitors right now. I hear she's meditating." And he
Slippy comes
keeps
out of the-
wondering,
Oh, okay, he doesn't stay great.
If that's so. Hey, wait. Hey,
yes.
hey. Can you eat?
Why I never, he says, and he storms off. And he storms off. Stomping
That's
much
it.
more heavily than he was before.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Why
First
I
boat-
never.
First boat races and now this.
And you come up upon Old Lady Weathers in the garden. She's watering many different sets of plants with her arms.
Lady of the Garden, may I borrow some of your time, please?
And she turns towards you and she says, "Oh, absolutely. I've been hoping that you would stop by."
I'm a
You also
I'm a
feel this
producer.
buzz in your brain. You don't hear anything out loud, but you feel this buzz in your brain as she talks.
I bet that feels really wild to Cookie
Mhm.
as an organism specifically designed to do the same thing.
Yeah,
to
sort of
her
communicate
children.
through pheromones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's deeply weird. I'm gonna produce. I'm gonna show her.
Oh, we lost you.
No.
Right
Well-
when he said what he's going to show her. I'm going to show her my gone.
Fucking Discord censored whatever that sentence finished with. Discord was like, nope. Boom.
I'm going to show her my gone. We lost you right after you said I'm going to show her.
Well, that's unfortunate because like the next two words were power shroom. Could be,
Okay,
something.
power shroom.
It's not the
Okay.
pinwheel, whatever it was. Whatever the thing was that isn't the pinwheel
Buzz
that I got
shroom.
for my buzz shroom. Yeah, I'm gonna show her
Broom,
that.
for
I wanna
short.
I was foraging in some of the more industrial areas of the and I discovered this. Gave me kind of a nasty zap when I harvested it. But I was curious if you could tell me any more about this mushroom.
Oh, yes, the buzz shroom. They do tend to grow along areas with a bit more power running through them. You'll notice them growing along the sides of sort of the big power channels that run especially out here in Food and O2. You'll find them, among the dead and detritus along those big power lines. Um they might have given you a big zap that's generally due to their excessive amount of adrenaline running through their body. It tends to feel like a zap when you touch it, but it is sort of a adrenaline secretion that they give off.
Are they the ones producing that adrenaline, or are they triggering that in me?
Oh, they are triggering that in you as far as I have researched. I haven't really gotten as deep into the whys and hows of the buzz shroom, but I certainly would love to give it a go.
I could not agree more. I have been I've been pondering this buzz shroom, and I've been thinking about the way that it zapped me and the localities that it is often found in.
Hmm.
And I'm curious if maybe through our research, yours and mine, that um, the two of us could find a way to selectively breed this species to not just deliver power to those unfortunate enough to pick it with their bare hands, um, but to produce power in some way that we could independent themselves. Um, it seems to me that we've experienced a lot of power out of lack of water here in the delta, and if we could engineer this mushroom to produce energy for us, that would greatly help both the delta and writ large, don't you think?
I think that I would agree that something like that could be very helpful. I think that the study of this organism might prove rather fruitful. Um, if you are
I
willing,
was hoping that you feel that way. I'm part of the mission crew often, so I don't have the time to like the long legwork research portions of this myself. But if you would be willing to undertake some of that for me while I'm on, I'm certain that I will bring back information or something fruitful for your pursuit in exchange on whatever my next mission is.
she says, I would be more than happy, I think, to undergo this research with you. I can begin looking into sort of the habits and growth of the buzz shroom as you are gone on your next mission, and when you return, we will spend some long nights here in the food and O2 going over what we have learned. Yes, lost her
Oh,
again. Yes.
nothing. It just my
Try
um.
try leaving and coming back into the Discord real quick.
It appears to be okay if you can hear me.
Yeah.
You're cutting out here and there. But I heard. Great.
Bye.
Great.
And then Slippy jumps out of the bush, and then we predator high five.
Predator high five. Uh, Perfect. Okay, so yes.
Yeah, I would, as a token of goodwill, may I, for your own fungus garden, can I provide this excellent specimen? And I would like to give her my last sample of the Irinian spore.
She looks it over and says, "My, this is not a specimen we've seen on the station quite yet. Is this something you're sure you want to give up?"
Yes. I believe that if its properties could be explored by someone with more botanical experience than I possess, I'm a cook and a forager, not a botanist or a fungalist.
Fungalizer.
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 Funganalysis.
Funganalysis.
Myconologist is the actual.
Shroom scientist.
Um, anyways, um, if you could lend your experience to to this, I think there would be far more use gained from it from your know-how than from mine. I can just cook it.
I would be more than willing to give this a look over along with the buzz shroom while you're gone on your next mission. I shall get started right away. Post haste.
I loved every syllable of that phrase.
And she takes this Iranian spore from you, and she sort of she says, "I find myself rather excited to begin my research. If you will excuse me." And she sort of begins sauntering off into the food and O2, further into the clearing.
Neat. I find
Uh,
myself very excited by your excitement.
let me think really quick.
Then we perfect our high
Arl
five.
did data points. BBW did food. Slippy. Okay, yes, all that was just set up. So you folks are going through these various bits, and like I said in the beginning, Cookie has found herself pretty absent from the like living space in this past week. In a rare moment at the end of this week, Cookie does find herself back at the living space. All of you are um a little more tired, I think, going through all of this. You're like going through hardcore research regularly. Slippy has been camping out, or was camping out, making sure that no
I've just
one
been
made it
chilling, man.
to. I guess Slippy is the most energized in this, but most everyone else is sort of getting a little more pooped from their research and studies. And as you all are sitting around enjoying a meal together, or maybe enjoying a meal together, BBW, are you enjoying the meal?
I'm
This is
enjoying
food.
watching the meal.
You're enjoying watching the meal.
I'm enjoying
As you
watching the meal because I am fearful of food at the moment.
Sure, sure. Um, you've been a little overwhelmed in the last week, so and
We
that
did
makes
throw
sense.
you into an electrical storm, so
Oh,
True,
true.
it's true.
Sorry about that.
All of a sudden, your
take a
comms
recovery day.
all begin triggering. Um, uh, so sort of a ship-wide SOS signal when they are trying to locate a team specifically. They will fire off this SOS signal to all their comms. So all of you get the signal at the same time, summoning you to the bridge command rather urgently.
On the way there, Slippy goes, "Oh fuck!" And he pulls out his walkie-talkie and he goes, "Hey, you can go see the botanist now."
Oh,
To
and
the
you hear a oh thank Lord, and then oh over and out, and
Then I delete that
How
number
dare
and
you
block
speak
it.
for me?
I delete that number and block
How,
it.
how dare you, God?
I didn't speak for you. That was the robot he talked to. He was calling the robot.
Oh, okay.
You already saw the botanist, nerd.
It sounded a lot like me.
Just has a similar voice. It's kind of rude.
You all run along to the bridge command, and things are in kind of a hubbub here. Lots of moving folks in and out of the room, and you're ushered over to the mission sort of control center that Teddy Rake controls. And he begins giving you the lowdown rather quickly. He says, "There has been an SOS call from the team that was sent out to where is it, Vulcan 9, to drop to do the exchange of sort of empty tanks for full tanks.
Uh huh.
Big SOS. There's been a the message was cut off, but it sounded like there had been some form of explosion at the station. This is a huge piece of energy for our station. The 40% that is out, as most of you folks know, and if you don't at this point, it's necessary that you do. The 40% of the station that is out at any given point is powered by the magma from Vulcan 9. That is why these shipments are consistently sent out. And they have, yes, with this SOS signal, we are in dire need of a team to go out and respond.
Yeah, somebody should get right on that. Oh, you mean us?
Fortunately
Yes, I'm ready.
unfortunately, we do mean you. Yeah, there is not really another team right now on the base that is ship ready. So you are the 4 headed out.
Any other details that we should know? Maybe about the things that we're gonna get when we get back.
Like a reward for responding to an emergency signal.
I was more thinking praise personally, but I can't speak for everyone.
Can we please get like a pat on the back?
I'm sure
Medal.
that I can. I'm sure that I can arrange for the same sort of reward that would have been given initially had you done the initial drop off. I don't think that is particularly on everyone's minds
Our
at the
union
moment.
does stipulate bonuses for emergency unscheduled work.
Teddy says, I guess it does. Boy, this is becoming more and more unfortunate that you're we have to rely on. Uh, here's the dossier that you would have been given. And he hands you another phone book, same size as the one you were given for Arenia Minor, and says that if there's any other news that comes in, they will have it sort of forwarded to your ship along the way.
Understood. And
Neat.
would you like perhaps a more direct line to us next time so that you don't have to, use the intercom if you need help from the old whatever the name of our squad is? I have a walkie-talkie you can put your number
Oh, you
into right
folks have
there.
got the walkie talkies. You
Uh,
picked up the walkie.
sure did,
Here,
boss.
sure. Here's my direct number,
Hell yeah.
and he
I
clicks his
promise I
direct
will
number
not
into your
abuse this.
walkie-talkie. Sure, he doesn't believe you. uh, and you folks, do you rush over to load out? Is there anything else you prepare before loading out?
Flippy's ready.
Yeah.
No preps. All right. You dive towards the ship, and jump on the ship. This time,
I do. Ooh, wait.
oh,
Oh,
you do.
I do, because this is a mission, and
Yes.
so I've got to make some rolls.
You gotta make some babies.
Talk to me about your. Oh
Potential
yeah, your
babies.
egg rolls. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll produce your. Theoretically, this happens while we're like flying towards the planet, but yes, important to happen while we're on the ship. If a day passes in game, we'll talk about more eggs.
I mean, didn't a bunch of days pass in game?
Like 7. Which means Trutches has hatched. Because they were 4 days incubated.
Theoretically, Chutches and there was another space pirate that got fed them too. Theoretically, they have both hatched by the end of this week, and by the time you guys are taken off, there is theoretically a Chutchling or 2 out there. They might all be called Chutchlings at this point.
These
Yes,
two for certain.
they are out there. Yeah. Well, hold on. You have
Mama,
Cookie.
mama.
Cookie has a specific ability at level 6 that is your like spice rack for long-term storage. I think that until you have this spice rack for long-term storage, the eggs can only last as long as their like germination period. That germination that we roll will be both their like lifespan until they are gone and their germination period. Does that make sense?
So should I roll germination for the week?
Uh yes. Well, okay, so
Okay.
we'll start on day 1. Roll how many eggs you had on day 1. The 2D 1d4. 1d2 really, but you roll a d4.
1.
Okay, 1 egg, roll a d6 for how many days it technically germinates. That one's gone no matter what. Day 1 is gone,
1, unfortunately.
dead. Day 2 would be gone by this. So day 3 is the first day that could be useful to you. So roll for day 3. D4.
2,
2 eggs, roll for germination period.
5.
6. Dead by mission start, but day of mission start. All right, day 4.
1
Yep.
and 5.
All right, that egg is good. We have 1 egg.
Okay.
Day 5.
How many more? Day 5. 2.
2, roll for germination.
1.
Dead. Day 6.
1
Okay.
and 5.
Okay. And day 7?
1
Yep.
and 1.
Okay. So day 7's is alive. So day 7's and day, I don't know, 2's or whatever dies tomorrow. So you have 2 eggs that die tomorrow and 1 egg that dies a couple days out. But you have 3 eggs
Have fun keeping
leaving
track
on
of
this
that.
mission. We'll find a way to roll that and be prepared for that in the future. But I like that because that gives you like a range of ingredients, you know. Yeah. So you have 3 eggs as you folks take off. Your current ship is -4 preparation. So Dante, roll me a D100 and -4 from it. This is for preparation roll. You guys jet. The journey that you have to Vulcan 9 is about as long as the journey was to Iridium Minor, which is about 18 hours at top speed on the ship. It took you a little bit longer last time because you had the whole Delta 8 mix up thing, but theoretically it's about 18 hours. Dante?
I'm sorry, are we doing things on this trip?
I'm waiting for Dante to roll a D100 for preparation roll.
93.
A
Sorry,
93.
83.
83. Did you
83.
mind it?
Yeah.
Is that with -4?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys have gotten some good rolls. All right. Let me read this real quick. Hmm. You folks are flying through space at top speed as much as your ship will allow. You're on an SOS run to help a fellow space crew, and all of a sudden BBW notices on the sensors. I don't necessarily know if I mentioned this last time because we were middle of the mission, but I had been thinking about something. We had so I like all these roles: Carl's combat, BBW's tech, Slippy stealth, blah blah blah. Like that. That's your like crew roles. I don't necessarily think that everyone has to be centered on those stations we talked about. Carl
Mhm.
obviously learned about the engine, so if we want to apply that character knowledge to the engine at any time, heck yeah. But no one needs to sit at a station. That way, anyone can at any time say like, "Well, I want to check sensors. Well, I want to fire a gun." Blah blah blah. Um, that thing. So like, I don't want anyone to be rooted at one thing because that led us into kind of a little bit of a roadblock last time, I think. So BBW is taking a look at is peering at the sensors, and you notice a massive blip on your sensor. It is not like a meteor. It's like a huge object. And it is long too. It's not like a planet. You notice planets and asteroids, all these things are generally like more rounder blips on your sensor that is pretty good at reading like size of and shape of things, but generally you're looking at like rounder objects. What you're looking at here is a massive oblong object on your sensor, and you're peering out into space. It's pretty far away still. You can't quite see it from where you're at, but you notice this massive thing. What do you guys do with this massive object on your sensor?
Well, it's just this giant object on the sensors. What is that? I've never seen that before.
You think we could lower one of us on a rope onto it?
Does it look electrical?
Well, you folks don't even necessarily know what it is yet. You're gonna have to go towards it to know what it
We
is.
can't.
But
We're on an SOS run. Slippy says in character.
yeah, you decide not to adjust your path, but your path is sort of cutting by it, and by the time you're at like, you're about to pass it, you're at the closest point you're gonna be towards it. You can kind of see it off to the edge of your ship. It looks like a body, just a
Whoa.
huge
Whoa.
dead creature kind of floating in space, like planet-sized creature, floating pretty far away in space.
I sure hope we never see one of those alive.
Think we can harvest anything valuable from that?
Who wants to get lowered on a rope onto it? Slippy puts a finger on his nose.
8
I try to put a finger
tentacles
on my
on
nose.
my lack of a nose.
I have no nose.
Oh, well.
Guess you gotta go.
Personally, I think we shouldn't mess with it.
Probably
That's
a
fine.
good
Like-
idea.
We have a better chance of screwing up and waking this thing up than we do of actually gaining anything from it.
Big credits. No, we'll get. I prefer the pat on the back that we're gonna get from the captain.
Pass it.
I mean, let's tell the ship to mark it and report it back.
Yeah.
But no.
Slippy pulls up his mic, his walkie-talkie, and he calls the captain.
You just hear a buzz. At this point in space, the walkie-talkies do not connect to personal.
Slippy goes, "Dang it!" And then Slippy calls BBW.
What is this?
Wrong number, sorry. And then he hangs up.
Okay, you guys pass this this body floating through space and jet along towards your mission. It isn't much longer. It's the 18 hours basically. You don't even stop to alter course towards this thing. At the end of the 18 hours, you see in your windshield, I don't know, in the glass of your ship,
Viewports.
this glowing red planet. You can see like blips of darker red in there, and your ship's AI readout labels it as Vulcan 9, a magma planet, and this is where you need to be. The SOS signal is immediately marked on your map. I think you guys injected that whatever data in as you left, and it is marked on your map at a little blip on the planet. And you fly your ship over near it. What you see is a landmass of like hardened magma, and you see the remnants of a big metal facility that has sort of like 3/4 of the way sank into magma. And there is like still a few supporting beams supporting about 25% of the original structure, but it looks like it has been smashed off. It doesn't look like it has just like been cleanly severed. It looks like something large smashed the top of this thing and like wrecked out like 3/4 of the facility. And
I
that's
can
what
think
you
of something that was large that I saw recently.
that's what you folks see floating. You're still up in the cloud-ish area.
Do
in
we
the ship.
see any barrels of magma?
You see a few steel barrels out front, but they're in like, there's like a few barrels in a pile here. There's a few knocked over here. None of them look like prepared for a shipment of any kind. You actually also see another ship. You see another ship kind of similar to yours, but a little bit more by the book, like off the shelf or whatever. A little bit more modern, not modern. Just like generic.
Better?
Sitting. No. I would say like less good because your guys has had some aftermarket stuff done to it. This is a little bit more like initially given to a cruise ship. It is just kind of sitting out front, parked, sitting there.
Well, gang, where should we go and check out first? I say we go and see if there's anybody in the ship over there or anything.
We
Alright,
might want
let's
to
check out the
check
facility first.
to see if there's anyone still alive in the sinking facility that's
Yeah.
about to sink into lava. So,
I was kind
if
of
there
worried
is
about
anyone
going in
alive,
there,
we
to be
could...
honest with you. I mean, I'll go. I just don't want to go first.
That's fair. I also don't really want to go first because, I kind of live in the water, and that's
Yeah,
the
me too.
opposite
I'm
of
amphibious.
magma, but Also, I do stab things, so I can go first.
Magma's just
I
really hot
get it.
water.
I don't think that's true.
Magma's just extra hot water. Everyone in space
Yeah,
knows
but
this.
extra hot water's very bad for me.
Is that
Fair.
how the states of matter work?
Yes. In
Yeah.
space.
There was once where I ingested a
Ice,
lot of
water,
extra hot
magma.
water.
What's up, BBW?
There was once where I ingested a lot of extra hot water. So I'm sure this will be no different.
Okay.
You're gonna drink it?
I'll just go in. See what
Do you
happens.
folks
Okay.
bring your ship in for a landing?
Let's do
Yep.
it.
And your ship does dock sort of, it's just on an open slab of cooled magma. Pretty close to this
Cool.
other ship. You see having like parked and rested, you can see from your position that their back hatch, that like descending door into their cargo bay, is open. You can't see like around and into it, but you can see it like it is open.
Well,
What do
where
you
to
think?
first? First, I say to the combat officer,
Let's check the open ship.
hell yeah, let's go loot.
All four of you, you truck out as a squad.
Yep.
One by one.
I'll take the lead. We'll put, I guess, probably BBW in the back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Understand.
BBW, we need to
You
protect
seem-
the disarm bot.
True.
Well, no, I was
Maybe-
saying I think BBW is the second most competent one, so he can hold up the rear.
That too.
I think combat wise that makes sense, right? Carl in the front. If you put BBW in the back and Cookie sort of in the middle, and maybe Slippy off to one of the sides, he can like watch a side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not necessarily like in a direct line. Might be good. I feel more open to like talking, to being a part of like team conversation, because I'm not like in D&D. It's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit more DM versus players, and then this it's like I'm just building. I'm just telling
Yeah.
the portions of the story that we can't tell as a team.
I think we're in the shape of a 4. At the tip of the 4 is Carl. Then like you got Slippy and Cookie, and then at the bottom of the 4 you've got BBW.
I like
like
the
that.
4 maneuver. I like the 4 maneuver. All right, let me take a quick bio. I'm gonna grab another beer, go to the bathroom real quick, and then
Cool.
we'll approach this station.
Sounds good.
Fruitful interim period.
All right, I've beard up. Just waiting on Lily to return, and then we'll approach. Sorry, Bear. What'd you say? Look what I can do. Pretty cool, right? What is that? That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you stopped by to tell me that you could do that. Oh, lit. I'm about halfway through editing episode 3, and I really enjoy. I was getting a little frustrated editing episode 2 because we were all in so many different spaces, and so it required me to split everyone's sentence apart and then re-volume everyone's fucking sentence. And so like it took me like 10 hours to edit the fucking hour and a half episode. So I was like getting very frustrated by the end of it.
I
And
believe
I
you.
was like pinching myself to not start episode 3 because I knew I was getting frustrated. And then I started episode 3 and I was like loving it because we're me and Gabe were in the office, and Lawrence was in a space, and Lily was in like everyone was in a space in the space in a good space for it, and I just like brought up the volume a little bit, and I've sat back and just like cut out some ums and am enjoying our fight from last time. I
Very
just got
blah.
past the part where Gabe is going to be looking for ingredients, and since I already know how that goes, I'm fucking loving it. He got blasted off his feet by the boomstick, and I was like, "Whoa!" Someone took damage. Wow.
Somebody's gonna die in this adventure. 100%.
No way.
No
100%.
way. No
We
way,
never
says
we
BBW.
never lose.
I'm notable at killing all
I
all
will
the
admit,
PCs.
I am once again in the position where if the time comes, Slippy will just slip off into the distance.
Oh man. Taupe says hi, Lawrence.
Hello, hello.
Man, oh man. Pumped. I'm enjoying the world so far and your guys' place in it. And that's about it. We haven't really done too much like arc building, but
Slippy's having a good time.
I'm so I'm so pumped that we took this moment to take a break because I forgot one bit and thought to myself briefly like, "Oh fuck, it's that bit's gone for now," and it's not. Taupe says you. Sure, Taupe. We'll head to you next. If you're live, that's fine. That's what the points are for. Whenever we get back to starting this, we'll do just whenever we get to ending this, we'll do just that. Taupe. Head towards you. You've been saving up the points. Definitely not selfish. That's the whole point of the points. That's the whole point of the points.
Look at this guy that I built today.
That's a guy.
He is the like leader of chaos. He's the whole deal. He's the one of the only characters in the game that can kill Mortarion in one round of combat.
What kind of color scheme are you going for this guy?
He's the black and gold. He's just the main black and gold guy.
Ooh, black and gold. Is it gonna
I'm
be like so when we were talking about that like last like necro dude and his armor being made of skin and shit, we talked about how like he's been through some battles, so his armor is scuffed up. Is this dude more like, hey, he's been kept from the battle, so his like shit is shiny and like
no,
pristine?
no. His I'm actually probably even going to weather because technically he's been fighting for 10,000 years.
Oh, so he's been in the battle for 10,000
He
years.
has his one of his weapons is the Talon of Horus, which is the only surviving part of the guy who did the original Civil War. Because that guy got his soul deleted by the Emperor, but that part of his armor survived and he grabbed it. He was the first captain of
Woo.
that guy's legion. So he's
Okay,
very
okay.
important in the lore.
I like
He
that.
is just absolutely bonkers in the game too.
I like that. I like your little setup. Little paint
Yeah, I know.
setup.
It's a actually I'm so happy to have left right monitors again. It's so nice.
Oh yeah, I bet. I'll like an up down when I have one to the side, but the up down comes after left right, not
hmm
not in
hmm
place of.
Yeah, and the monitor stand that I had for that screws off in the middle, and so I don't have like a random pole just hanging up in the middle of living room too, which is nice. It
Oh,
ended up
nice.
looking like it'll be better once I have a real desk that can fit 2 monitors because one of the monitor stands is like this far off of the desk.
Okay.
But once I have that, it'll be a lot more sleek of a setup. But it's
Nice.
great as a stopgap. It's turned out great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the painting setup is quality. I don't have any complaints about that. That's probably just gonna stay the way it is. I've just basically like put all of my paints and my lamp and stuff, and then I've just taped it to the desk.
That's the way. That's the way. You don't want to knock that shit off.
100%. It's not going anywhere.
We finally got bar stools behind the counter, so we have like the whole counter space utilized for kitchen.
Hell yeah,
The kitchen has just increased in size
absolutely.
from already a massive kitchen in the city of Chicago to bigger than I could ever want.
Yeah, I'm actually so curious to see what the living room is going to be like once we get the bed out of here, because right now
Yeah.
that's where our bed is, right next to the AC unit.
Hmm.
Once it cools down, we're going to move it into the actual bedroom, and then move the futon into here, and that's going to like just be a crazy difference. So much
Yeah,
more
you
space
guys will
in
have
here.
an actual like a living space.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Is it? Are you just gonna use the bedroom for like storage until then?
Yeah, we've got like because we don't have a dresser yet, so we've got like 2 shelves in there that have all of our clothes on it,
Hmm.
and it's got the futon in it. It's got like the entertainment setup for in there, ready to go. It's just not nowhere to put it on because we don't have the dresser yet.
Gotcha.
So we'll get there. I was actually really surprised. We have a closet in this living room that is like the perfect amount of space where I can fit all of my airsoft stuff and then all of the boxes, all of the monitor boxes, the TV boxes, like all of the stuff that we don't ever need to touch, all of that fits in that closet. And we still have
Okay.
the 2 more closets.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. Lots
That's
of
a
space.
surprising amount of storage for how small this place is.
Yeah. That's great.
It's too bad that our first is the one who's still AFK.
Yeah. Yeah. Once. Nope.
Hey,
Not AFK. Lily. Hello. Welcome back. All right. You folks. You folks. Are forward up. I'm just gonna call that forward up. You're forward up and pointed towards this allied ship. You come around the side and notice the open door. What you also notice is a gravity cart. We're going to say it's a standard issue gravity cart. You have the same exact gravity cart on your ship that you've used last mission, even. And it is loaded up with canisters and it is tipped over on the other side. Like it was coming down the ramp and something happened. The whole thing tipped off. And there's like steel barrels that have kind of rolled along, but you don't know at which point that was done. What do you do? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This it looks like this gravity car is carrying this shipment of barrels either up or down. You're not 100% sure yet, and it has tipped off and fallen, and the barrels have kind of rolled out a bit. You know. Um. Yes, they are in sight. They're in sight, and they're nearby. They're just like kind of maybe one has rolled off a little further, but the rest are like right there. So from our mission prep, you know that these barrels, if we're being brought here, if these are like the barrels that the team brought here, they're empty. If they were barrels that are being picked up, they're filled with magma. There is no indicator on like just from sightline from this point of view if they are filled with magma or are empty. But they are theoretically the magma barrels. Your current goal is to respond to the SOS signal given by this team. Theoretically, it's to save the team, but it's not like. Yeah. So, yeah, the SOS mission that they're here on is to save the team. you know that the mission that you were supposed to that like the basic mission to this planet is pick up fresh mag barrels, drop off empties. If you can do both, maybe you secure that payment. If you're just here doing the SOS thing, you'll get that like hazard pay that Gabe talked about. But like, why would you get paid for the mission when you didn't come to do it? But that all the data points that is where Carl is at.
Uh, I think maybe we should look around for some sort of tool to pick this stuff up, or some sort of like space wheelbarrow. Yeah, I could give it a shot. I have in my bag of tools. Hold on, let me see. All right, I rolled a 12, so it's not the only thing in my bag of tools.
Love
I
it.
pull out a gravity wrench
Sure.
to help fix the thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not just
Neat.
hitting it with this wrench, I promise.
Slippy gives a go at fixing this gravity cart, and what you notice is that for the most part, it's actually pretty undamaged. Maybe there's a few bolts and stuff that you tighten to get it to like actually whir back on, and after you like flip it back to neutral, it whirs and floats back above the ground. And with that, I think that you know that the gravity car itself was only damaged by the fall it took off of this ramp. Um, yes, but the gravity cart is up and working again. The barrels are on the ground. I think now that you're close enough to them, you see that these are the empty barrels they were coming to deliver. So at some point while they were pulling them off the ship, something happened, and now you have the scene before you. You guys explore the ship or head towards the factory?
I think Slippy wants to make sure that there's no one still left on the ship, because the bandits ran into this situation where they didn't know that we had a friend
Someone
in
on the ship, yeah.
Very
So
true.
I don't want to get ambushed by somebody from on the ship like later.
Very true. That was the bandit's downfall.
So I guess discern reality is probably that's a
It's
7 plus whatever.
well, that's
Uh,
important here. Is it 2 or 3?
let me look. Wisdom. I've got a -1, so it's actually a 6.
Okay, so Slippy discerns realities on the ships. On the ship, he looks around, and it seems Slippy gets distracted by there's a lot of like footsteps around the sort of dust or dirt that is hit the pop atop this cooled magma. Slippy sees a bunch of footsteps sort of scramble around here and then headed off towards the station in a fast fashion. Slippy gets the impression actually that none of these footsteps led back to the ship.
Yeah. Uh, there's some footsteps that have happened for sure. That's a failure, right? A 6 is a failure.
Yes, Mark 1
Oh
experience.
yeah. I just wanted
Sorry.
to make sure that I marked that correctly.
Yep.
Well, I guess that's all for me, Tombleson S. Slippy.
Slippy
Until the
points
next
out that all
6 seconds.
these footsteps are sort of head towards the factory. You folks head in that direction?
I think so.
Let's go.
Makes sense to me. Onward.
Cool. You folks head towards the factory. You approach this. It is there are some steel stairs cutting up to a closed metal door. This whole thing is made of metal. That way I don't have to say metal a billion times. Everything on this fucking station is metal. It's made of of not necessarily steel, but of a very temperature resistant metal because it is also sitting in liquid magma, as to not press that
So it's
heat
not
up
shielded
into.
like on Mustafar. just hot resistant metal.
Right, it's just heat resistant
it.
metal. Briefly, I want to appreciate all the lurkers that are here hanging out, watching us play Dungeon World. Sure that we are enjoying ourselves. I appreciate everyone being here. I like being able to do things like this and explore other games rather than just video games. I know that it sort of takes me away from chat, but I appreciate all of you being here and being a part of this. Yes. Heat resistant metal. You approach, there are these steel, I'm just going to call them steel. We're going to pretend that it's steel plus. Steel plus. Steel stairs cutting up into a door that is jammed shut. And that is basically the front of the station. There aren't like windows. This is just like very like industrial, right? Like it's sheets of metal, bolts, and the door needed to go on it. You
Can we
see,
discern what it's jammed by?
I guess I just mean that it is closed, firmly shut.
Okay.
Like the rest of the station is damaged off, and if you come across like an abandoned, I don't know, space station, sometimes you see those doors just like loosely opening and closing. I mostly meant by that it is just shut. The rest of the station, though, you can see like is just like in the magma. And it's stationary in the magma, right? You're not coming across this as it's like falling into the magma. Just 3/4 of this station has been broken off at some point and is now about 2 stories lower into the magma and kind of destroyed. You see lots of like ship parts or machine parts and shit. What do you do?
I try the door.
I'd like to discern some realities.
I won't try the door yet.
Discern some realities, Cookie.
What's the stat on that?
This is roll plus wisdom.
Wisdom.
Not my best stat either.
Oh, that's a 7.
In case you get to ask one question from the list.
There's something about dangers I might have missed or something like that.
What here is not what it appears to be, or there's a few questions. What here happened recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What is useful or valuable to me? Who is in control? And what is not as it appears to be?
I think I mean what should I be on the lookout for?
Should I be on the lookout for?
I'm specifically thinking dangers, but if it turns out it's not a danger thing, then it's not a danger thing. But I'm Cookies on
No,
the
this is
lookout for
great.
danger because we're on Magma Planet.
This is great. I think your team approaches the front of the station. Your team begins walking up the steel stairs towards the door. Slippy, I would say Slippy next to Carl at this point, since Slippy said like I want to open the door or check the door. So Slippy is up there getting ready to reach for the door while Carl is like prepared for what's beyond. Cookie actually peers off beyond the door and out into the magma for a moment, distracted by there's a lot of like blurbles of like magma bubbles coming to the top and like popping and you know there's a lot of movement out there. But Slippy is not Slippy. Cookie is distracted by Cookie is distracted by a different movement out there. With amongst all of these blurbles and pops of magma, Slippy, damn it, Cookie sees a shape crest the magma and slither sort of long ways in the magma and then go back down beneath. And it is large. It creates ripples next to it.
Oh no, it's a flaming hot worm.
What do you do about that, Cookie?
Let's get inside right now.
I'm trying.
Slippy reaches for the door and it is locked. That clunk 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 happens as Slippy tries to like pull it open. There's like a little clunk, and then you hear a voice from behind the door. What?
Special delivery.
We are.
It's hell.
We're here to we are responding to your SOS.
Oh, Oh, thank God. And the door flies open, and there is you see a worker. She is rather young. I'll say like 16. She has burns all up and down the side of her body. You see, actually, her hand is missing and is in a charred stump. Um, and she ushers you inside before she like pokes her head out and like peeks around real quick and slams the door shut. In here, you see a lot of injured folks. You see her, who is at the door. There is two folks who are clad in space crew leathers coming from the ship. There's a robot. The robot is. I thought I heard a noise. The robot is sort of humanoid. It has 3 legs and an extra arm coming out of its back to do little like work things. It is heavily damaged. One of its legs is sitting next to its body, and one of its arms is just missing completely. And the other person is a human, and they are in very critical condition, just like unconscious on a bed. The robot is sitting next to them. There's a couple
Hey,
other
what's his deal?
workers. There's a couple other workers here who have various burns of some kind, but they seem pretty fine. And yes,
Hey, what's his deal?
the one of they came to drop off the delivery, and there was a fusion reactor malfunction, and it caused a loud boom, and an explosion in the back of the processing plant. And generally we deal with stuff like this all the time, and and
That
and can
sucks.
recover. It only took out a small portion of the facility, easily rebuildable. However, the sound called something from the magma up, and it came, and its wrath took out most of the station, and every time we try to leave to head towards their ship, it returns and causes some sort of trouble. We just all really want to get out of here.
Yeah, but
Damn, y'all got magma monsters?
what about the almost dead guy? What's his deal?
He he was hit by a lot of flying debris and some drops of magma.
Oh, okay. I can't.
He's in
I
rather
don't
critical
think I've
condition.
prepared anything in my bag of tricks to help with that.
I have a magma healing potion. Um,
I, I pull a hammer out. Nope, nope, that's not gonna help.
Seems like they've summoned a dragon.
This sounds like Dune, but with fire instead of
Never mind,
sand.
Dragons, we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Any idea on how we could make a bigger noise somewhere else?
uh, a bigger, yeah. I mean, if you just cause an explosion somewhere else, you might be able to draw it away.
Well, that would be a cool idea, huh?
The robot kind of bleeps on, like it's kind of powering up from rest mode, and says, "The station relies on magma from this processing plant to power 40% of its life force."
Yeah, I know.
And then it says, "We must do something," and powers back down. Um,
Can I go and replace his batteries out of my bag of tricks? You take
you
double A's?
he doesn't take double A's, but you can
I
do
rolled a
what you
10, so I still have more things.
he doesn't you I don't know. You can have more things, but he doesn't take double A's.
Yeah, you gotta have
I'll,
people.
I'll fiddle with his back while other people are doing other things. I'll figure out what I need.
I love that. I
Just
love
the right robot power cable.
that. BBW, do you have anything about this situation that draws to you?
These people are in need of entertainment.
Oh, damn.
So
Yes.
I want to try and mend at least a couple wounds.
You gotta
This
see
looks
if it's anyone's
beyond.
birthday.
Absolutely. That's what I was gonna do. I want to walk up to like
for birthday.
the person who let us in. I want to like go up to like grab any of the wounds and try to do like first aid on them. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk
Do you
to
have to make a? I think you have to make a roll for use machines on that.
Hello, is it your birthday?
Yes.
So that's 2d6 plus. I think for you it's wisdom. I'm pulling up your character sheet now.
Okay.
Plus intelligence.
Intelligence. So that's an 8. Cool.
One of the following happens. Afterwards, the machine is trained to power. The machine it scrambles your other machines. Take -1 ongoing. You draw unwelcome attention. Hello, you do your thing. You pull out your weapon or your weapon. Good lord. What is
I
so this is
just
your first
might now.
aid. This is your first aid. What machine does your first aid? Like what is the look of this? Stop that. What is the look of like all of your spells take place in machines that kind of look like we had talked about party favors for you as entertainer bot. What kind of party favor is this healing machine?
It's almost like it's from my fingertips, and just like I used to be able to inflate balloons. So the machine is like my fingers kind of like pop open, and that's what will do the repairing of the person.
I like that little pop open. If not a person, it gives like a burst of air, but you can also, I guess, repurpose it in this case to heal. Okay, I like that.
Is it your
You,
birthday today? Is that why you've called us?
she says, no. She seems to wince in a little bit of, I don't know, like when you're putting alcohol on a wound, it hurts to heal. She winces a little bit in pain and steps back. And says, "It's not." And says, "Wow, I really appreciate that. I already feel a bit better." And outside, you hear an ear-splitting roar that cuts through this station. It seems to vibrate in the walls. What does your team
I
do?
bet if we could make that noise somewhere else, it would draw the worm away.
Wait, I have a thing that can record sounds.
How's your PA system?
Is it possible if I can just like whip that out real quick?
You want to whip out you said PA system?
To record that sound. Just real quick.
Oh,
Whatever
you
little
want to like,
snippet I can.
yeah, I'll say the recording that you pick up is like as if you held the cell phone up real quick and hit record, It's like that tinny sort of blared record, but you get it.
Mhm. Sick.
Gabe, the robot is like humanoid, but it has 3 legs like a tripod and 2 humanoid arms, but then a third like Doc Ock arm style coming out of the back of its back as like a third arm. So you pull out your shit to record. Everyone in here seems to go dead silent. And in fact, the little girl you're healing kind of crumples into the corner and like hides.
Oh dear.
And she actually says, she whispers in a low voice, try not to use any of your electro your machines that rely on electricity. It seems to be able to sense the pulses created by those machines.
Hope they didn't
Oh.
bring any of those mushrooms.
That's true. Good thing Gabe chose the other one.
From my abdomen compartment, I want to reach and grab like a necklace, a bead necklace. I want to put it
Oh,
around her.
like a Mardi Gras, like the Mardi Gras bead necklace.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Dude, I love
I
it.
was gonna
Does that
put it
do
around her.
anything, or is that
My
just a
first
pride
thought was
favor?
like a rosary, but then it was like, no, party robot, New Orleans.
Nah,
Is
it
that
doesn't do anything.
love it? I love it even more that it doesn't do anything.
Here, have this.
Carl, where do you sit at after this roar?
I want to ask if are there any defenses at all in any of these facilities? Because that sounds big.
Well, yes, she says they just, most of them are closer to the magma-facing side of the facility that has been drawn into the magma. Mostly, what we have now are the sort of person-based weapons. We have a few guns, all magma-powered. Um,
I
they
imagine
might
those
be able
don't
to
do
pierce
much
the shell.
against a magma monster.
They they seem to do a bit of damage. It's just
Okay.
it's we're talking like a gun versus a beast. It's just
Yeah, it's like a
can
building.
you do enough? We haven't been able to with these, but
We haven't
that's what we
upgraded
got.
the weapons on our ship yet. Instead, I bought these walkie-talkies.
Yeah, that might not have been the best idea. I didn't have enough money to buy anything.
Yeah, but now we can call the captain, and Slippy tries to call the captain again.
It's just static buzz.
What did the captain say?
He said, "Boo."
Oh man, that guy's never helpful.
Say that.
I don't trust him. It's one of my
Right?
mods.
That guy works for the government. I can tell.
So, Carl, is there anything that you do with that info? That yes, they have only handheld guns.
Complain.
Well, they said they had some defenses on the other side of the compound. What kind of defenses are those?
The side of the compound that has fallen into the magma.
Are there, like, all of it has gone down? There's nothing left? I thought it was just, like, facing the wrong way. Misunderstood there.
She says, well, most of the facility seemed to fall into the magma, but some of it is still sustained above. We would need to lower someone down in order to access
on a
the
rope?
weaponry there. It's pretty. So it's not necessarily weaponry. It's more of a defense mechanism. It produces it produces a loud blast of sound that generally keeps these beasts away. We don't necessarily know how this one got up in it, but that is our defense mechanism. It's sort of like a bat. If you produce a loud noise, it'll go the opposite direction. That's what we do here. We don't generally try to kill them. We just push them away because this is their habitat. We're just trying to get some magma. So that is down there. It could be down there. I haven't been down there. We would have to lower someone down to even find out if it's
So
in the section below.
presumably, if
We
we
could-
backtrack to one of the two ships, we could lower something to grab some of that weaponry and pull it up and utilize it. If there's like,
Yeah.
It is built into the
Yeah,
station.
it sounds like it's a button.
You'll need to like activate the wall crank. If the wall crank is above magma, all of this is saying that
gotcha. Okay.
the sonic is not in the magma.
So
No
if we
worries
could
then.
recover this device, what if I use that recording I have of its roar to just shoot it back at it and scare it away or
I
something?
don't
Yeah,
know.
try that out.
We've never been able to do that, so I don't know. But also, what if you call it here? She says. What if instead of scaring it away, its own call kind of brings it to us?
We need to
Oh.
put the call on somewhere else.
Then maybe we could throw it a party.
A loud
Maybe
party
A
somewhere
loud
else.
party.
But you're saying if we go out and try and get back on our ships, we're probably gonna die.
Every time we have tried to go and get on their ship, the creature has returned and attacked.
I'm gonna try and stealth out to our ship.
Give me a defy danger dexterity. That's what we used for stealth for Carl.
Oh
Nope.
dear.
It's not good. It's a grand total of a 5.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead
Mark
and
one
mark
experience.
that. Almost level 2 now.
I kind of want to intertwine this. I want to get Cookie's point of view as well. Cookie, where do you sit at with this situation? As you see Slippy starting to prepare. I think even Slippy mentioned something about trying to sneak back to the ship real quick, right before he like takes off. What do you do?
I did just ask, hey, have you guys tried to go back to the ships?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Dang it! I think I asked him when he leaves, and then he is gone. Oh no, he's there. Gabe? He was asleep. Uh, so where I wanted to see where Cookie sat at with this situation. The magma beast has just roared. Slippy has mentioned something about trying to sneak back to the ship, but I wanted to get Cookie's input before Slippy did his sneak.
Which wasn't good.
If you were just asleep, we can just continue, so I don't have to like we don't have to like catch you back up. That's okay. I'll catch you back up.
Well, let's see. We've got. What can I do in this situation? Do we have anyone who's dying?
You have so that robot. The robot is injured. The human that the robot is sitting next to is
Concussed.
unconscious and severely injured. Like we're talking like battlefield style med bay that you guys are in.
Is this
And
is this
everyone
human
around you is injured.
this human is a Delta member, or is this a
Yes,
colonist?
the robot and the human are wearing spacefaring leathers that you folks basically got as like standard issue leathers. They haven't actually spoken to you beyond what the robot said a little bit ago, which I recall off the top of my head was something like we have to help these people or something along those lines. But
Well, okay, they're all NPCs to Cookie, anyways. Um,
Until
but
you're
yeah,
playing as them.
those two are members of the Delta. Theoretically, they own that ship out there.
they're all NPCs to Cookie. I would like to use Test Kitchen. I would like to hunt for an ingredient that that drives off monsters or like repels them or like I want to drive this thing away with my super foraging skills.
Building foraging skills.
You want to find an anti-magma beast mushroom on a magma planet.
I'm gonna call this one a cook check.
Maybe like some special charcoal.
I'm gonna call this one a cook check.
All right, same rule, but all right.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna try and cook. I'm gonna make a special smell for this thing. That's an 11.
Great.
Pick two.
Pick two. I have Cookie Grubbs' page up for this specific reason. Pick two. You've moved it up to here. No, you haven't. It's down here, but it's just labeled red. Test kitchen. Okay. It's going to take hours of research. And you will need you mentioned this idea. I want to produce something. The young girl who has been conversing with your team says that there is a sulfurous flower that grows atop the sort of highest plateaus of this cooled magma, which is not particularly high. Like if we're talking like where you folks are even standing, it's probably like 10 feet above your head, like the highest point of this cooled magma. But these sulfurous flowers grow up there called sulfur flowers, sure. And the beasts, she says, tend to avoid these clearings. We don't exactly know why, but maybe it's the flower itself. So maybe if you were able to collect some of that flour, you might be able to get what you're looking for.
Is this all before Slippy has run away?
No, this is like right before Slippy is like as Slippy's preparing to
I'm putting on
slip
my
out.
metal shoes to get ready to sneak.
This was like during everyone's doing all their bits as well. So you know that if you get that flour, that you could spend some time cooking it down. It would take you a couple hours to cook it down, but you might be able to get a product that might just repel it on its own, and you might be able to teach these people how to produce it on their own, so that maybe they don't need to use this sound weapon, and can just figure out something to do with this like poultice, basically that you'll be making.
All right, let's see. How do
More
I
of a
still add
long-term
further?
solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I have a thought.
Yes.
There's this flower, and I know the techniques to distill botanicals down into their essential oils, and I have it on good authority, small child, um, that this essential oil will repel um, the beastie out there. Um, but I think we're gonna need teamwork in order to carry out this plan.
I can. Uh, uh, she looks around and at all her injured comrades and the injured back
Oh
Atmos
no,
folks.
not you, not you. No, team, our team, not
Well,
you.
no, but
You're
I'll need to
no.
lead you to where that is.
Can you draw a map?
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes more sense as she draws up a map using charcoal.
Thank you. Um. Okay. Quick, quick team huddle.
As
And
Slippy
I
is getting next to the
motion.
door, he
Yes, this is Slippy. Over.
at the door, reaching in, he pulls up his.
My first instinct is to snatch his walkie-talkie and throw it in the magma.
I'm gonna defy that. I'm gonna defy that
But
roll with my dexterity.
I
By
defy that.
danger.
Don't. That's not. First
10, defy
instinct is not
danger.
what I actually tried to do. It's just what
Defy
I
danger.
wanted to do.
You wouldn't have been able to
Cookie.
do it anyway.
I'll never know that. Um, okay. Quick team huddle. So, we need a few things to make this happen. We need a team of at least two to go and get this flower. We need. It's probably going to be either me or Carl needs to escort, and by escort I mean carry that injured crew member back to the ship.
Well, I've
I
already
can.
got my metal shoes on for sneaking, so I'm ready.
All right. Well, then you need to sneak to the flowers. I think that's
Nope.
more important
He's
than
got
getting to
his
the ship.
he's got his sneak plan planned out.
Yep, it's
All
gonna
right.
go.
Well,
It's gonna go wonderful.
He could sneak to the flowers after this, but he is first at least going to try to sneak to the ship. Just
can
like
you?
And
to
it's
see what
not
he can
going to
do.
go well.
It's not going to go
Can
well, but
no. Well, I don't know that yet.
nope.
Neither do I, technically.
All right. And I'm gonna put my faith in Slippy here because that's what our bonds dictate. Um. All right. Slippy and Carl, can you take this crew member back to the ship
Yep.
and put them in the med bay?
Why don't you use your 8 arms to carry them, Carl? Because I have a
I
bad
need
feeling
eight
about
Because I have to
this.
walk with several of those, and the other ones are for stabbing things that get in our way, hence protect the target.
Well, okay, I guess I'll carry her then.
Damn right you will.
Um, that leaves
You go
myself
great.
and the robot to quickly follow this map drawn by a child to the flowers. Then we will all reconvene here, and the next part of the plan will be put into motion.
And Slippy
And
says,
then
"Yeah,
I'm gonna motion at Slippy for a bonus team huddle.
Slippy comes even closer.
I hand Slippy one of my eggs,
You're a
Uh,
dad now.
Am I a dad now? I can't. What am I gonna tell
This
Carissa?
is your baby.
Nope. No
Nope,
dads.
nope, nope, no, no.
No dads. That's kind of a kind of a four-letter word here. But as soon as you're out of sight of all of these people, feed them that.
Feed who
I've-
that?
The injured human.
Oh, okay,
the
got it.
military, feed it to them. I have smeared you in pheromones, so it should happen pretty quick. But we need a distraction, and there's only 4 of us, and we're all sort of essential to the plot. So feed them that. Hopefully they'll
Yeah.
hatch,
I'm totally down with this.
and then we have some kind of a distraction, so that we have a little bit of time to brew this essential oil, because I need hours to distill this thing.
Okay.
But
I'm
first,
sure I will be distracting.
I turn to Carl and I say, just watch what Slippy does, and if you have questions, please come and sit with me later.
that's an ideal way to put that because first Slippy decides that before he does all that, he wants to check. He feels challenged, moreover, that the other group was unable to sneak out to their ship. And so as you turn to talk to Carl, you hear out of, like the corner of your periphery that the door opens and closes, but it doesn't recognize until you turn after talking to Carl and see that Slippy is gone. And I think you immediately get the idea that Slippy tried to sneak back to the ship because he was told basically that he couldn't. And Slippy
I
is
wasn't listening to anything that Cookie said other than "Here's the egg, take it."
here's
He was
the
just like,
egg.
"Can't tell me not to sneak back to my own ship. I'm gonna go back there right now."
And Slippy is on the way to the ship. There are a few barrels on like the flat portion, like the platforms of this staircase as you go up and down. And Slippy he's sneaking. He's sneaking down the staircase. But because he doesn't at all need to be sneaking, he's just like sneaking to prove a point. He like trips up on that last step and
Ugh.
bumbles into a barrel. And that barrel, it's like the last step before a platform before some more steps. And that barrel goes clanging, 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 clanging down the steps and bounces along the magma. And I think you inside, all of you hear that clang,
I hope
clang,
so.
clang down the steps. And then there's a brief silence. And then a loud roar overtakes this station, and the walls shake. And Slippy, you see, you turn your head and you see in this lake of magma, very close to the shore, right next to this area where the station is like kind of crumbling down. The magma begins to roil and bubble, and a huge purple worm crests through the magma and faces its mouth hole towards you. Its rupturing of the magma causes the other 3/4 of the station basically to begin sinking into the magma. And it spits up it closes its worm mouth, I guess, and then spits it forward, and a large ball of magma flies through the air right towards Slippy on the staircase. And that is where we'll cut it for the moment. But before we end, we must speak of the questions so that we can mark experience. You folks, if you level up, like say that this, whatever experience you get now were to level you up, unfortunately, you cannot level up until we're back at the home station. It's until like a significant period of downtime that the level up occurs. Just so you know.
Rules, got it.
Oblivion rule. Exactly. It's resting rules, except resting in town. Let me pull this up. I think it's on our cheat sheet. It is. So first session in. Did we learn something new and important about the world? Gabe gives
I
a thumbs
learned a
up.
bunch of new and important things about the world, like
Carl
history.
Powers
Yeah,
generating mushrooms, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, the whole team just learned a lot of new important things, and we got a bunch of like projects rolling. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Not
Old lady
yet.
with or old lady with her.
We definitely didn't
I
fight
would.
anything because I think I rolled once.
Yeah, I would also say nay on
No,
the
sure
overcoming
not.
a notable monster enemy. Did we loot a memorable treasure? Probably also not.
No.
Everyone marks 1 XP for learning something new about the world. Bonds I wanted to talk about because as I was listening to the bits, I thought, Carl, one of your bonds was BBW seems eager to break the law, and I want to nurture that anti-establishment attitude in him. The way that you have phrased it here, yes, but when we were talking about it, the way that we had spoken, you said BBW, or we had spoken about how Carl thinks that all machines exist for the quote unquote man's purpose, and you
Mm-hmm.
were looking for BBW to prove that he's working for the people. And I thought that while you folks were in the mine, BBW spent several of his turns actually focused on healing the miners rather than fighting. And I was curious if you thought that that was something that may trigger a change in this bond.
I think definitely that, and also like just generally a lot of BBW's behavior has been like generally proof of sentience. Like the
Yeah.
fact that he wants to know what food is, like desires sentience, like. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that could be crossed off. Could be,
Okay.
or you know,
Yeah, so something can be, I think, marked about that. That has changed your feeling. I think I want you to think on that sentence and like how that evolves into what its new bond is for next session. But I think you can mark 1 experience for marking that. And that also goes for BBW along with your first one. Carl is distrustful of machines. I will prove their value.
It
Seemingly you've
looks like
proved. What's up?
no. You go. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say seemingly you have proved just that. What think you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you think that that relationship has changed for the two of
Oh,
you?
I think a little bit. Um, VBW has a hard time distinguishing their relationships between people, of course. They're
Mhm.
thinking, is it your birthday rather than how are you feeling?
That's
So
pretty funny.
I'm sure after they prove that, they'll feel a bit more confident in that, and they'll prove more of their sentience that way. But they
Okay.
feel much better about this relationship.
Okay.
Sticking
So
with Carl.
I mean I think that that's still like Carl is no longer so distrustful of all machines.
For sure.
So you've proven their value in some form or fashion. I think you should think on how to change the sentence before we play again, which is Carl's distrustful of machines that will prove their value. Because I think you can
Okay.
mark 1 experience now for having satisfied that. Like Carl, like I said, Carl is specifically more trustful of you. So like you have earned your place in that. Maybe we can talk about extending that to other machines. Maybe we can talk about becoming more trustful in Carl's eyes. Whatever that feels like for BBW, I think you can evolve that. But you can mark 1 experience for having done just that. I'm reading through through Slippy's. I know I can trust BBW to have my back when things go wrong. Do you feel like that one's changed at all? Do you think that it's more so? Do you think it's less so? Do you think that he's had your back? I think we can also like if they develop an endpoint, like if that's proven true, and now for like
I
beyond
don't
a
think
shadow of a doubt, then
I
you
don't think
can
that it has
change it to
happened
it.
yet.
Okay.
I don't think we have done because it was mostly interim stuff this time around, and I was just more con stuff with Cookie. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that very much happened. So we'll see what happens here because I'm
Sure.
kind of fucked right now.
Yes.
Slippy's real fucked right now. It's a good thing I'm an alien, so I'm gonna get a +1 to my escape attempt, but I don't know how well that's gonna go.
Yes, ideal. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to check. And Cookie, are any of your 3 bonds Yeah, are any of your 3 bonds fix? I don't know.
I keep trying to move Carl's forward. But we're not there yet. I think I'm gonna rewrite it for next session so that I make sure that it works.
Well, before we
Because the
rewrite it, we
wording
have
on
to
it
make
has definitely changed.
before we rewrite it, we have to make sure that we can satisfy it in some form or fashion. So if we can,
Well then no.
okay,
We sure cannot.
okay.
Um,
Even if you can like ethereally say that like this connects to that, we can say check mark and
not
you can develop a new
even
bond.
a
But
little bit. No. I have learned that robots get offended when you ask them if they can eat.
true, but that doesn't
So
answer
the
the
only way
question.
That's a bit peculiar.
it's similar. It's as close as I can get.
I mean, can a robot eat? I must know. That can I feel like the initial like curiosity behind this is more about discovering if they can eat, not like because you could change it into I know robots get offended if you approach this about them, so I'll find a different way to approach it. That may be a thing because it's developed your relationship with the robot culture in doing that. But if the root of it is like I need to know if a robot can eat food, then maybe not until you at least try. But I feel like if you sit down with BBW and share a meal with him that you have cooked, like made a cook roll on, then you might actually be able to check off like Carl's and the robots if you can do a cook meal with the whole crew, right? You'll share a meal with Carl, and that is a big check mark on that one, and then you'll know about BBW.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that's where we are, you folks. Hopefully marked experience as we went through because I don't remember at the moment, but when I go back through and edit, I will I'll retell if anyone missed one. Sweet. Other than that, we'll be back next time to deal with the magma worm
It's Slippy's imminent demise.
and Slippy's imminent demise.
I know.
Fuck
Next time
yeah.
on Dragon Ball Z.
I feel like magma might do more than 6 bats worth of damage, so we'll see.
Ready to watch a friend die.
All right, sweet. We'll push again for next Tuesday, but at least with Lawrence, Gabe, and Ice Jobs, we're fucking all over the place, and as we've seen with Dante's as well. And
Shit happens.
I mean, and Lily as well. Shit happens. So we'll push for next Tuesday if we can. If not, we'll plan ahead.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Sounds
Later.
good.
See you
Talk to folks
guys
next time.
when I see you. Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty. The bad news is, the stream is over. But the good news is, guess who's streaming right now? Fucking Taupe Bear is streaming Mortuary Assistant again. Love that man. Love that game. And I love seeing that man get the shit scared out of him, which this game is perfect for. So go have some awesome fun over there. Hope you had some fun tonight. Feel free to stop back in if you did. We'll be back hopefully with more of this on Tuesday. On Saturday, me and Dad will be back playing some more Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance because we already finished Resident Evil Village and we wanted something kind of completely tonal shift, and who knows what we'll do next, but this is a classic from our childhood, so we're playing through that co-op. From my childhood. But yeah, and then our Friday sessions will be back as soon as we get our player slots filled. So have fun over at Topes. Behave. Say hi. Be nice. Have a great weekend. See y'all around.